Hi guys. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, I'm still wearing the same shirt. It's still the same day, but this is after my job, and I'm just waiting to go hang out with my friends, so I have a little bit of time on my hand. I wanted to just kind of finish part 2 of this video, kind of just knock it out so I can upload them both. So if you guys are, just want to keep watching it, you can watch it together. So this is part 2. And basically what I was saying this morning was the side of the weight loss aspect of why I went vegan, but I didn't mention how I've been feeling so far, what it's been doing for me so far. So I said, how disappointed I was on the whole paleo diet or the high protein, low carb, high vegetable diet, but basically, obviously, it wasn't going too well for me. And I want to mention the fact that I always incorporated working out with these programs or with these lifestyles of the low carb, high protein. I still incorporate exercise, and honestly, by genetics, by just me alone, regardless of what I eat, I can honestly tell that my body is the type of body that, it's harder for it to lose weight. I've had a slow metabolism because me and my sister, I always make the comparison to my sister. Hi sis, if you're watching this, I know you love my videos. So my sister, she's very thin, and I feel like she eats a pretty standard American diet. I mean, her and her husband are newlyweds, and they kind of just eat whatever they want, like pasta. They kind of go out, for dinner, to have a burger and stuff like that. And they're both really thin, and they needless to say, they do not work out. My sister does not work out. So I know for a fact that I've always been working out. I've always been active. I've always been in the gym throughout these diets or whatever. And I still haven't been able to lose the weight. If anything, I've just gained more weight. I've also always had a really nasty relationship with food, to the point where I was like a binge eater, and I would just stuff my face with something, anything really that was around, without being hungry. So stuffing your face without being hungry, and then feeling disgusting about it, like you want to throw up. But I was never I don't know, I just didn't have the stomach for it. I was never puking, so I was never bulimic or anything like that. But I did have sort of an anger towards food, because I loved food. I still love food, but I'm saying I love bacon and I love greasy food, and I was mad at it because I'm like, if I eat you, I get fat. If I don't eat you, if I restrict you, I still get fat. Because that was the reality. If I restrict bread, if I restrict pasta, if I restrict meat, if I restrict bacon, anything that I would restrict, I would still be gaining weight. I never lost weight. So I had sort of this emotional disturbance with food, so to the point where that would happen, the binge eating, whatever. But aside from the binges, which honestly I can say was never super common, it wasn't a everyday thing or anything. It was sporadic binges, but it was, I know I've always had an issue with food. Kind of me and food don't get along in that sense, because I'm why does my body respond like this when everybody else is eating cheese pizza and disgusting greasy fast food? I didn't even eat that much fast food, like McDonald's, Burger King. I don't even eat that much of it, and I know people who eat way more of it, double meat, double cheese, double bacon, double everything, and they're thin. So I was almost angry at my body, angry at my metabolism, angry at the food. So it was an issue. And so that's kind of my background with food and those issues that I had when I was eating meat and all that processed food. But the bottom line is that even if you're not fat or overweight, and I say fat, I wanted to clear that up too. I'm never harsh on myself, just you're fat, you're still ugly. I know my worth, and I know that I'm pretty. This is getting awkward, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is I'm clinically obese. I'm not clinically obese. I'm clinically overweight, and I have high cholesterol. So there's an issue. The issue is there. We can't not mention the elephant in the room. if you know what I mean. I can't deny the fact that I am overweight, so I have to use the word fat, use something. So that's what I mean. It's like, oh, I'm fat. Because the issue here isn't really being fat. The issue is that, number one, I want to look good. I don't want things flopping around and weird things that rubbing that shouldn't be rubbing. You guys know what I mean. If you just feel uncomfortable, and I want to be healthy, I want to get my blood taken out and the doctor tell me all your levels are great, your cholesterol is good, your lipids, your vitamins, you're fantastic and everything. That's what I want, more than just not to be fat. Because I saw pictures of me in high school, and all through high school I thought I was super fat, and I look back and I'm like, oh, what the hell was I thinking? I was like thin, way thinner back then, but I always had this mentality with food. I was obviously not as skinny as my friends, but I was thin. Like, if I show you a picture of me in high school and say, oh, I was fat, you would be like, what the hell? Because I wasn't, especially because I was very active. I was in volleyball, I was doing a lot of things in high school, so I wasn't fat, but it's funny how your image of yourself can be so harsh. And, maybe, and I always say this, if I thought I was fat back then, and I think I'm fat now, if I was 20 pounds fatter tomorrow, I would think that this is not fat. You know what I'm saying? So it's all relative. So the whole fat thing is just a word that I use to explain the fact that I'm not at my healthiest state. And to me, not being fat means you're healthy, you don't have high cholesterol, you don't have an excess amount of body fat, and that you're in shape, and that you can run without and sweating like crazy, like you're about to die. I feel like that means you're not fat. It means you're healthy. Maybe it may not be your stick figure, but you're healthy, so you're not fat. That's what I kind of mean. So moving on to the vegan thing again. I wanted this to be, that was just clearing up some of the things from the first part, but this part is about the second reason why I went vegan, which is for the animals. And a lot of people say, what about the animals? Like, what is it? You don't like killing the cows and the chickens and the pigs? I'm like, well, listen, here's what happened. So like I said, it all began with Freely's videos, to be honest. And then from then on, I said, well, why would people become vegan besides losing weight? I mean, I want to know, because if I'm going to make this decision, I want to have all the reasons in the world to go vegan, so that I keep reminding myself why I'm doing this, besides for health purposes. What are other reasons that people are vegan? So I did my research, and I've noticed that there's a disconnect, that people in America, people all over the world, don't make the connection. And that's the key, is that people say, well, just, before you didn't, how did you think you got your chicken? Or how did you think you got your steak? Like, you didn't know that the animals were killed for it? And the reality is that everybody knows if you ask them, like, oh, where is that? That's a cow, that's a pig, but how did it get there? Somebody killed it, I guess, or it died. You don't think, number one, I can tell you guys 3 things that people don't think about when they talk about meat. How the animal was killed, nobody thinks about that, or how the process is. How many animals it takes to supply the need of meat, and how it's not natural. Nobody ever says, we're consuming a lot of meat. Are there really that many cows for us to kill? Or are we breeding them like crazy, like animals, just for our pleasure? That's something I never thought about. The fact that these animals are tortured to be bred in all these quantities just so that they can be killed. Because you think farming, and you see the farms in the little images. When you buy your cream cheese, it has a little picture of a farm in the back, or when you buy your butter, it has a little picture of a red farm in the back, and the cows are happy. Well, in that type of farming, there's only so many animals you can raise naturally. There's only so many animals you can have running around in the grass. There's only so many pigs that you can have, squealing around at once. And when you think about how many people there are in the world and how much meat we eat, the numbers don't add up. So what it is, that's when I found the other reason why people go vegan as for the animals. So I was like, what about the animals? So I did some research, mostly YouTube videos, because I'm the kind of person that I want to see things. I don't really read about it, but it won't impact me as much as seeing it. So I did my research on videos because I wanted to see what it is that these people are talking about. You can easily find videos on YouTube about animal cruelty. Obviously, the first one you'll bump into if you're looking for animal cruelty is PETA. People for the ethical treatment of animals. So I found a bunch of PETA's videos and I watched them and I was like, I think I've seen this before, because in high school, if you guys have seen Food Inc., almost every, excuse me, my thing's falling. Hold on. Okay, let me just fix it. So almost everybody in high school has seen that video, or that movie, or that documentary, Food Inc., right? But nobody really pays attention to it. At least I didn't. I was like, this is like one of those boring documentaries where you just put your head down and fall asleep. But when I saw it was PETA videos, I was like, this is a good reason why people should go vegan, because this is not right. If you have some type of conscience, some type of anything, some type of human feeling, when they do those close-ups into the animals, you can see it in their eyes. How can you say, oh, they're just animals, they're meant to be killed? Why? Can you, seriously, I would love to take anybody who loves me into one of those factory farms and have you eat a juicy burger in front of a cow that's about to be killed, when they're screaming and mooing for their lives, and they're just holding on to every breath, praying that somebody has mercy over their life. I want to see you eat a burger in front of that cow and just act like they're just a dumb animal that don't matter, that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's wrong. It's wrong when we make that disconnect, and we've been, taught that way, to just disconnect from the animals, not to make that connection. Why? Because it would harm their product. It would harm these big companies' profit. So I challenge you, just like I challenged you in my other video, try a vegan meal a day. I challenge you to face it, to face the reality. Look at your food straight in the face. Can you do it? I mean, honestly, if you can look into a cow's face right before they're about to be killed, or a chicken or a pig being ripped away from their family, being bred, raped to always be pregnant just for somebody else's milk and just for somebody else's cheese. If you can stare at that cow and that pig in the face, then, and not feel bad, by all means eat your meat, honestly. Because I couldn't. I could never. I don't even want to imagine walking into one of those places and having to look into a cow's face and think, yeah, your pain and suffering doesn't mean shit to me. You're just a dumb animal. You can't even talk. You're just mooing and being stupid. I'm just going to eat you for dinner. I cannot do that. And a lot of people, people see vegans as like crazy and tree hugger, psychotic people that care too much about animals. They're just animals. If you have a dog and you love that dog and you've had that dog forever, you have a cat, a pet that means a lot to you, you wouldn't eat it. You would never eat your pet, ever, 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 ever. So, and it's an animal. Sometimes some people call their dogs family. They give them names and treat them like they're kids and put little clothes on them. They're animals. It's the same thing. So why wouldn't you have your dog for dinner? Because you know that they have feelings. You look into their eyes and you know that they're loyal, that they'll be there for you. Cows aren't like that, and pigs aren't like that. They're wild animals. But you can see into their eyes, and you can see that they care about their family, that they have feelings, that they feel oppressed, that they feel like helpless. You can tell, and they're animals. It's the same thing. If you wouldn't eat your dog for dinner, why are you eating cows? Okay, so that's established. That's what made me go vegan. I can't do it. I wouldn't eat if I had a dog, I wouldn't eat them. So I'm not gonna eat cows, you know. So, you know, do your research. Look at what is being done to the food. Look at what's being done with eggs and cheese and milk, and you know, just realize it, you know. For me, that was a dead giveaway. Jess, you need to go vegan now. It's not good for your health. It's not good for the animals. So why do it? You know what I mean? So, the end result of me going vegan for this whole month that has just passed, I've been feeling amazing. Besides the fact that my body is thanking me, I just feel it. Like, I can seriously feel my body thanking me, saying, thank you for the nutrients, for the food that is alive, the food that I can recognize. It's easy. When you put up a food into your mouth and your body goes, oh, strawberry, that's a strawberry, I got it. Pineapple, potatoes, rice, and the avocados, and it knows what it is, versus you putting a box of mac and cheese into your body. Dextrose, maltose, fructose. What the effing heck are you putting in here? I have no idea what this is. Your body's like, seriously, dude, you keep this up, I'm gonna give up on you before you can even see your grandkids. Your body is not taking that shit. And honestly, I know a lot of people say, listen, Jess, you're chubby, I get why you're going vegan, but I'm eating all the junk and I feel great. I feel fine. I'm an athlete. I eat a lot of protein, and I'm skinny, so I don't need to go vegan. Just because you're skinny and healthy now doesn't mean you will forever. You maybe have a good metabolism, you may have stronger organs or a stronger body, but it's not gonna last forever. And when it hits you, it's gonna hit you hard. And then people wonder, I know this is a touchy subject, but then people wonder, oh, how come this young person just got a heart attack out of nowhere? Oh, this person just got this horrible illness out of nowhere. You know, they were such a healthy... Were they? Were they healthy, really? Because your body can also kind of like take hits. You know, take hits, and then one day it'll explode on you. And then I know people... No, I'm not naming names, but you know who you are. I know family members have told me, okay, just maybe I'll go vegan later, you know, like when I'm old and I'm starting to get... Honey, you're gonna wait till you're sick and dying to go vegan? Really? I just, you know, I don't get it. For me, when I found this, it was right now. People ask me, Jess, you want cold turkey? Because a lot of people say, oh, you should transition, go vegetarian, you know, have your eggs, whatever, your cheese, and then chicken. No. I'm sorry, but when I saw those, first of all, when I saw the things with the animals, when I saw what the industry is doing, and when I saw what it was doing to my body, cold turkey. And I think that's a funny expression, cold turkey. I say, I went cold tofu, because I wasn't going to sit there and transition, honestly. I wasn't going to sit there and be like, okay, no meat today. Okay, no chicken. Okay, only fish. No, I was just like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. And that's a little extremist. Like, a lot of vegans say, oh, transition, that's fine, which is fine. If that's you, again, this is my story as vegan. My story is, no. I went from one day to the next. Obviously, if you feel more comfortable, you know, becoming vegetarian for a while. I know my mom, when I came home and I told her she wanted to give it a shot, she goes, I'm really proud of you for taking your health into consideration, because she's always tried to help me lose weight, and we don't know, we weren't, you know, we don't know. So we tried the protein thing, I tried the Atkins diet, I tried almost every diet out there, and it was horrible. So she knows my struggle, and she says this actually sounds like it's really good. I mean, when you mention whole plant-based diet, whole foods, you know, natural, nothing, it kind of makes sense. It kind of clicks. It kind of, you know, sounds like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be like. So my mom was interested, but she hasn't made the decision to go vegan yet. She said, you know, don't put a label on yourself. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm doing this. I'm going, you know, in. There's no going back now. But she's, you know, she'll eat fish for me, or she's cut out a lot of things. She's cut out milk. She's cut out, you know, a bunch of things. But she's still not fully, you know, which is fine. It's a journey. It's everybody's journey. And for a while, she didn't want to see the videos. She's like, I can't. I know it's probably really horrible, but I can't see those. I know videos. I'm like, listen, Mom, whenever you're ready, I'll show them to you. And she said, okay. One day she said, I'm ready. I want to see. And I showed her a couple, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, yep. So, but she still, even after watching those videos, she still hasn't gone full, because it's actually harder for people who, especially like my mom and my parents, probably your parents, who grew up in a time where like farming was the real farming that we think it is, like the actual farm where people had like 20 cows and they milked them by hand and everything was nice, and then the cow died, so then you kind of make steaks out of it. Okay, so but then you see animals being killed, so it's a normal thing. It's harder for you to feel more compassion when you see those factory farming videos if you grew up on a farm. You know what I'm saying? So sorry, this lady was staring at me. So I understand for those people that are like, I grew up on a chicken farm, like I've seen chickens being killed, or I grew up in a cow farm, like I know, I don't care. But that's not the way they're killing them anymore. Guess what? That's not the way. And whatever, there's people saying, oh, I only eat locally grown grass-fed beef. Listen, whatever. Honestly, eat your locally grown grass-fed beef. Whatever. But it's not realistic for everybody, honestly. And I still, even if it didn't harm the animal, or if the animal had a happy life, bottom line, meat is still not good for you. It's, even if that was the happiest cow in the world, it's still not good for you. So it goes back to yourself. How much do you matter to yourself? Like, what is your worth? You know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge. I'm not perfect. You know, sometimes when I go out with my friends, it's tricky because they're like, you know, we'll go out to dinner, and I don't want to be a super stickler about it when I go out to restaurants, because then you just look like an asshole, quite frankly. Like, so I'll go out and I'll look at the menu, and you know, we barely go out. I mean, I barely go out to eat, but when I do, and this past month, it's been like 3 times that I've had to, you know, go out to a restaurant with family and eat vegan. So the first time I went to an Italian restaurant, and I looked at the menu, and I ordered pesto pasta with no meat, obviously, and I just asked the lady to put no cheese in there. I said no cheese, and it had sun-dried tomatoes, and it was really delicious. It was a simple meal, and it was so flavorful. And then they had the garlic rolls, which had like garlic butter, and then they use olive oil. They didn't use butter, but it had like a garlic olive oil with Parmesan cheese on top. I could be an asshole and be like, no, I'm not having any bread, or I could just scrape it off and eat the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like or right now I'm about to go eat sushi, and my friends are like, but you're vegan, what are you gonna eat? I'm like, either I ask for a veggie roll or I ask for a California roll, because I'm not gonna be an asshole about imitation crab that has egg in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're going out once a month, a couple times a month, I don't think you should be. I mean, you're never gonna see me go to a restaurant and say, let me get the steak, let me get the filet mignon. You're never gonna see me, or chicken or fish. But if you're ordering something that like has mayonnaise, or has like, you know, you could say, hey, don't put any mayonnaise in it, please, or don't put, you know, you could. But honestly, like right now, I'm probably gonna have some sushi with some imitation crab in it, and if I feel like it's too much, I'll pick it off. You know, like be simple on yourself. Don't be so complicated. Don't be so stick up the ass about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I follow a very, you know, strict vegan diet every day of my life. So for one day that I go out to a restaurant and you know, they cook the vegetables in butter or whatever, I'm not gonna be a dick about it. I'm not gonna, you know, make a big deal about it, make a scene. Maybe I'll just eat a little bit of it. I won't eat the whole thing if I feel like, because I feel like at this point my body's not responding well to those things anymore. My body knows. My body's like, hey, are you gonna do it again? You know, so I can tell, you know, and if it's getting, like, I feel like it's too much, I'll pick it off, I'll scrape it off, or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, keep it simple for yourself. Don't be such a stick up the ass about it. Obviously, be strong in your beliefs, and while nobody's around and you have control of your food, which is almost every day, you eat vegan, you eat the right way, you support the things that you need to support, and you don't support the things that you don't need to support. You know, the concept is doing the best that you can. You know, you do the best that you can. So I want to leave you guys with that. I might have another video on different topics, more specific topics about veganism. But for now, this is it. This is another long video, so I'll see you guys later.